A man and a woman have been arrested at the airport on suspicion of smuggling drugs to New Zealand.
But first, a storm that prompted the observatory to issue typhoon signal number 1 is heading away from the city. Alison Chan reports.
A storm was brewing early this morning. At 10 a.m., the observatory issued the typhoon signal number 1 due to a tropical depression over the northern part of the South China Sea, about 390 kilometers south-southwest of the city. But forecasters say it's heading towards western Guangdong and Hainan Island and away from here, although it's expected to be cloudy with a few showers over Mid-Autumn Festival.
According to the latest forecast track, this tropical depression is expected to skirt to the southwest of Hong Kong tonight or tomorrow morning at about 300 kilometers or above. As it is still be at a distance from Hong Kong, the chance of issuing the strong wind signal number 3 is not high.
Beachgoers are also warned to watch out for large waves. Hong Kong has barely been affected by typhoons so far this year. Police have arrested a man and a woman on suspicion of smuggling methamphetamine or ice at the airport. Both of the suspects are 23 years old. Officers found 1.5 kilos of the drug concealed in their shoes. That amount is said to have a street value of $630,000. Police said the two were going to tag along with the tour group and smuggle the drug to New Zealand for a profit of around $10,000. A poll conducted by the University of Hong Kong has found that the majority of physically handicapped people it surveyed are unhappy with the government's sports policy. Between March and May this year, the university interviewed 181 physically disabled people about the age of 13. While a quarter of them think they do enough exercise, more than 80% complained about a lack of government help for them to get involved in sport. They say there's a lack of recreational courses and it's difficult for people with disabilities to rent public sports grounds. They are urging the government to set up a committee especially for the physically handicapped to give them more access to sports and recreational facilities. Alison Chan, ETV News.
9 cars believed to have been illegally modified were detained during a crackdown on road racing last night. The operation was carried out on several major roads, including Tai Po Road and Total Highway in the New Territories. Police intercepted 4 cars, 4 motorbikes and a truck during the crackdown and believe they have had illegal modifications. The vehicles have been taken to a pound in Siulam for further inspection. Police have issued 160 speeding tickets so far in the ongoing operation.
A wildfire in Central California is threatening hundreds of homes near a national park.
But first, in our international roundup, a video posted online reportedly shows Syria launching airstrikes against the Islamic State group. Joyce Wu reports.
This clip, uploaded to a website yesterday, is said to show the aftermath of a Syrian government airstrike on the Islamic State stronghold of Raqqa in the north of the country. White smoke fills the street as people walk among destroyed cars and debris. At least 16 civilians and 9 Islamic State fighters were said to be killed. At least one strike hit a bakery on a busy street. Raqqa is the main Syrian stronghold of Islamic State. The group, which has seized sizable territory in Iraq and Syria, drove the last government forces out of Raqqa last month when its fighters took over an airbase, capturing and executing scores of Syrian soldiers. 300 homes in Central California have been evacuated as firefighters battled a blaze that scorched about 1.2 square kilometers of land near a national park. Aircraft were deployed to drop flame-retardant chemicals onto the burning areas. Firefighters have only managed to contain about 25% of the blaze, which is out of control.
Due to the dry conditions, specifically because of the drought, fire activity is intensified.
The huge wildfire began on Friday afternoon. Residents of hundreds more homes are being told to evacuate, but no damage has been reported so far. The British government says it will soon unveil plans to give Scotland more autonomy on tax, spending and welfare if it rejects independence in a referendum on the 18th of September, according to British Finance Minister George Osborne.
So you will see in the next few days a plan of action to give more powers to Scotland, more tax powers, more spending powers, more plans and powers over the welfare state. And that will be put into effect, the timetable for delivering that will be put into effect the moment there is a no vote in the referendum.
Osborne was speaking after polls showed for the first time that Scottish independent supporters are in the lead. Yesterday, the Queen made her traditional appearance at the annual Braemar Highland Games. She was joined by her husband, Prince Philip, and son, Prince Charles. Joyce Wu, ATV News.
A search is underway for a Pakistani sailor who went missing after apparently jumping off his ship while it was involved in military exercises off the Australian coast. The sailor is believed to have swam ashore to an area near Darwin in the Northern Territories after leaving the vessel. He was spotted hiding in bushes this morning, according to Australian media. An Australian naval helicopter and sniffer dogs are involved in the search. Crocodiles are known to inhabit the area.
Sports now, and starting in tennis. There was the double upset in the US Open men's semis as both Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer crashed out.
He might be the underdog, but Kei Nishikori struck first against US Open semi-final opponent Novak Djokovic, the world #1 who looked sluggish early on. After losing the first set, Djokovic regained his composure and fought back with this impressive drop shot, which pleased his coach Boris Becker.